What makes certain figurative expressions confusing for non-natives? Imagine hearing someone say, "It's raining cats and dogs," and wondering if animals are falling from the sky. That's what can happen with figurative expressions. They often trip up non-native speakers because they're relying on meanings that go beyond the literal words. When you hear a phrase like "break a leg," you might think someone wants you to actually injure yourself, but it's really a way to wish someone good luck. These expressions are like puzzles that need cultural clues to solve. One big reason they cause confusion is that non-native speakers usually don't have the same instinctive feel for language that native speakers develop over years. Native speakers know when a phrase is meant figuratively because they've heard it many times and understand the context. Non-natives might interpret "hit the nail on the head" as literally hitting a nail, instead of understanding it means to do something perfectly or accurately. Another tricky part is that these expressions are often fixed multi-word units. That means the words work together as a single idea. Trying to understand each word separately can lead to misunderstandings. For example, "spill the beans" doesn't mean to literally spill beans but to reveal a secret. If someone tries to interpret each word individually, they miss the real meaning. Cultural and shared experiences also play a big role. Many expressions come from stories, traditions, or common knowledge that non-natives might not know. For instance, "bite the bullet" comes from old times when soldiers had to endure pain without anesthesia. Without knowing that background, it's hard to see the connection. Different types of figurative language can be easier or harder to decode. Metaphors, which compare one thing to another, often make some sense because they create a mental image. But idioms are more opaque because their literal parts don't connect logically to their figurative meaning. For example, "costs an arm and a leg" means something is very expensive, but you wouldn't guess that just by looking at the words. Familiarity also matters. Even fluent bilinguals might understand a figurative phrase more slowly if they haven't heard it before. Slang adds another layer of difficulty because it changes quickly and depends on social groups. Slang expressions are often not in dictionaries and relying on knowing the social context. For non-natives, this can make slang and figurative expressions seem like a secret code. To get better at decoding these expressions, non-native speakers need exposure to cultural situations, repeated use, and clear explanations of what phrases mean. Learning these expressions in context helps them see how they are used naturally. Teachers can help by pointing out the figurative nature of these phrases and giving plenty of examples. In the end, understanding why some figurative expressions are confusing comes down to language familiarity, cultural knowledge, and context. The more you see and hear these expressions in real-life situations, the easier it becomes to interpret them correctly. It's like learning a new game. Once you know the rules and the players, it all makes sense.